Okay, my friends, going to be exciting. We're going to start to look through each one of these shots and what they represent as far as biology goes instead of geology. Because it's understood now, and it's just has to be exposed to the general public because their minds are so frozen that this is just too much for the average person. I understand that. This is just a 100% shift in the way you have to think. And literally, this changes literally everything. And I'm not talking about just, wow, look at these rocks or animals. No, this changed history, eternity possibly, religion. I mean, it's so deep, it's unfathomably deep. It's so deep, it's just ridiculous. Okay, my friends, going to be a very outstanding day at Mudfossil University. The evidence is literally overwhelming now that the biology is geology. There is no more geology. It's biology that's turned hard. I'm going to show you this in extreme details. Okay, my friends, I'm going to go through every one of these in extreme detail, but I want to show you two things right up front to get some credibility. First is the hair follicle. Show it every single time just about. There is the muscle attachment, the erector pili muscle. That lets you do this. That is the sebaceous gland right there. That is the hair shaft coming right up. And this is the root connecting to the two dots at the bottom, which are the hair papillae. 2 inches wide, a hair follicle. I don't think there's any creature on Earth right now that has a 2-inch wide hair follicle. Now, that's case number one. Case number two, before we get deep into the bowels of the beast, so to speak, is this one right here. And what is this? Who the hell knows? Well, I know. That's a stomach lining. He said, oh, come on, Roger, can you prove that? Well, yes, I can. Yes, I can, as a matter of fact, because it is right there. Do you see any difference? I do not. That is the stomach lining. And there's all kinds of gastric juices and all kinds of things going on in your stomach, which dissolves things that you eat. And then they turn into all kinds of like bubbling little things. And that's what you see inside of caves, where they have all those stalactites and stalagmites. That is broken down minerals from some enzymes, from some secretion in a creature's body. They break down the minerals, just like happens in your body, and then they get put back together. But this, in a case of a cave, it's just drip, 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 and then they solidify. In you have enzymes that break things down, and then proteins that build them back up into your body. But once you die, the proteins don't build them back up again, they just collect. And that's what you see in here. That stomach, the contents of that stomach, and those little balls are absolutely identical, completely, totally identical. And these are not just here and there, they're everywhere. People have no idea what to make of them. Well, I do, and I'll show you all the rest of the stuff. Let's get it on. You know, something else I want to mention while we're here is I said to myself, what the hell are these balls all collecting inside these little cavities for? Well, I know about these balls, and it's called it's in your adipose tissue just below your flexible stuff. There's all these balls anchored in your flesh, so that you can stretch this way and that way and up and down, but they all come back to where those balls were anchored. And the stomach, and that's because they got to move. They got to move, but they got to come back. And I believe that's what these are doing in the stomach. That's just my guess. There's no other reason for them to have there. I believe these are the anchors in the stomach, so you can pull it out, but it will come back. And that's just a guess, but I believe that's true. And then this is a little grotesque, but that is what is inside of a stomach. All those ridges and the balls, when all of the fleshish stuff erodes away, you end up with the balls all collected inside those little cavities. All right, so you saw what's in the stomach, the little balls and all those ridges. You saw the giant hair follicle. this is what is in the stomach and in the intestines that, well, this is really in the intestines, that absorb the food as it comes through there. They break it all down with enzymes, and then they absorb it into your interstitium, really, which is the fluid-filled highway that drags it around. So these, when I show you this, they call these, I can't remember what they call them, but here they are right here. Oh, the fairy chimneys. I guess they call them fairy chimneys. That's what this is. This is not silly stuff. This is a gigantic creature we live on, or creatures. I mean, there's a ton of them. It's not just one. There's no question about that. And this kind of stuff can be looked at in a little better detail. You see this? Everything has to have blood feeding in and out of it. These are not just standing here by accident. They were at one time part of a system in the guts of some creature. What it is, I don't know. All creatures have to have the same basic biology. Most of them breathe, as far as I know. Most of them eat something, and most of them secrete things. But in the middle, they have to have bacteria and enzymes to break down these products. And these are the things that absorb, and they get down here, and there's enzymes and bacteria and all that living down under there that just eats up all that stuff, turns it into good stuff, and pushes it out into the interstitium. Okay, this is Almay, and this is another shot of the intestinal villi. I believe that's what they call them, these little things that stick out. And there is just bazillions of them. And as that food filters its way through there, they suck them in through these little tiny holes. They take in the particles, and then they break them all down. And all that stuff is from breakdown of bacteria in the gut lining, in your interstitium, in your intestines. And then as all that stuff gets all broken down and the bacteria chews into it, it goes into your villi here, and then into the interstitial layer, which is a fluid-filled highway, just discovered not long ago. And here's where this guy is. This was called SUVRVing, I believe. And he said, wow, what the hell is this? They call this tufa. He says, I've never seen anything like this. I guess he goes around checking everything out that he sees. I'm going to show you a little closer shot of it. But this is, well, let me show you what it is inside of an intestine. There's just tons of these in there. Now, this fell in a very strange position. Usually, they're inside of caves, which are the intestinal cavities. Hold on. All right. I believe this is a true picture of intestinal villi. Again, this is from Almay. Stock photo. Now, you see these little ridges? That's how you move your food through your intestines. These are the villi, the little jobbers that, there's so much absorption. This is like a real good Turkish towel, absorbing up all the fluids coming through there. Because they come through in a fluid form. And then they fester, and they just rot, basically. Now, if you can't move those through there quick enough, they will literally rot in your gut. And it's called rot gut. No, that's whiskey, I think. They will, but it will. It'll literally cause damage to your guts if you have constipation for extended periods of time. You have to move this stuff through. It's just as simple as that. You got to have the right stuff in there, and then you got to have the right bacteria in here, and it will just do exactly what it's supposed to do and come out in a little sausage daily. You're good to go. You got problems in here, you are sick. Because this makes all the chemistry in your entire body. Everything is done from bacteria and enzymes. It's fully understood now. And it's got to be investigated with a really sense of urgency. Because it's just been, let's just keep doing what we've been doing. No, this is urgent. People are dying and being sick every day, getting sicker and sicker because we're having more damage to the bacteria that lives in here. You eat food that has glyphosate in it, and everybody does. There's no stopping it anymore. That glyphosate is a weed killer. Bacteria is nothing more than weeds living in our body. And they just said something about it the other day. There was a big article saying, wow, we got plant life living in us. Yes, we do. You see this? It just came out a couple days ago. New forms of life discovered inside the human bodies. These are the things that make us alive. These aren't the bad things. Well, maybe some of them are, I don't know. But this is what we're going to be looking into. I'll be doing another video about this, these new forms of life, hidden presence, calling them obelisks. They have all kinds of names for things now. But they have finally started to look at these microbes because this is the essence of life. Without this, there is no life. You have to have the microbes in your gut to break down and reassemble what you eat. Okay, so they're starting to look into them because they're everywhere. There's probably hundreds of thousands of different species of bacteria living in your gut. And if you are missing a batch of them, they cannot convert the products coming through here and break them down and turn them into what makes muscle and bone and fat and energy and cellular material and all of the things that you need in your body to facilitate your life. Some of it will be missing. And that's not a good thing. When things are missing, they can do one or two things. They can allow other things to proliferate and take over. Or you just don't get what you need and you just wither away, basically. It's like long COVID. Physics girl, a very nice girl, going around doing physics all around the world, and all of a sudden she got COVID, and she's got long COVID. And I don't know if she's getting any better because it's been a year or two. And she was so bad that, I mean, it was really a disaster. I don't know even if she's made it. But these are the things I would like to see if she could get like a fecal matter transplant or something to replace the bacteria. I'm sure they gave her something to kill all the bacteria in the body because once it starts to proliferate, sometimes, yes, you do have to do that. But then you got to replace the good stuff. You kill everything, now you're even worse. You know, you just saw poor Diana there. You know, last time I saw her, she was in the bowels of the beast up in Alaska, not far from where I was, just outside of Anchorage in Fox. And she was literally in the poop of a gigantic creature. I don't think that's where she got any of this infection. I think she just got COVID, but she has no way of fighting back against it. These bacteria live all over in here. Now, not only do they break down your food and create enzymes that are immunities, they do other things. They regulate your mood. They regulate everything in your body. You have to have these enzymes everywhere. And if you don't have those bacteria living, you're just not going to have them. That's just a fact. Now, this is Physics Girl. She's the one that has the long COVID, 2 years in bed now.
Hi, everyone. I just wanted to say hi because I haven't been able to for almost 2 years. I mean, the thing I want to say the most is just thank you so much for all the support on Patreon, on here.
All right, I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but she's been 2 years in bed. She's still in trouble, and I'd like to know if she's had her bacteria tested and possibly a fecal matter transplant, something like that. Virtually everything in the human body is related to bacteria and enzymes. Without the enzymes, no chemistry works fast enough to maintain the human body. It cannot be done. Bacteria is the key to health. Okay, these are the balls up there in Alaska that are coming out of the bodies of the creatures are thawing out. These balls are edible, so what's in our own body is already built into this, and it starts to feed off of these balls. And they just found out this. We got plants living on us, and these are the plants. And that's what they are. And this is what they grow here. There's no roots. The ball is in the center. They eat everything and then leave the balls. I showed you those Amoki marbles. And they're everywhere. There's right here. And this is basically identical to what Yale shows once they agreed there is no such thing as geology. It's all biology. Time to get this thing under control and get some real truth from the people that we've been hoping for the truth from, and not really seeing a whole lot of it. Does that look like some just oddball thing? Look, there's a guy standing up here. This is some kind of intestines or guts of some sort. And they're so big that the average mind is just overwhelmed. And it's people that are perfectly happy deluded. They won't take the time. They say, oh, no, I read all the stuff they told me in college not to pay attention to idiots like you. Well, no. That's what happens, peer review. Don't listen. Don't pay attention. Stay in your own little box. Say what we tell you to say, and you can have your piece of paper. Well, of course, you got to pay us a lot of money. Don't ever say anything that we didn't say. You see, it's time to stop this nonsense. And we need a leader that will stop this nonsense. Okay, this guy is walking on tissue. Walking on tissue. And this is the kind of tissue. I think this might be, well, I'm not sure, but it's somewhere in the digestive system. I'm quite sure of that. And it's just gigantic. Now let's show you some more of these just gigantic creature body parts that need to be examined for what they are. We have to understand our history, our actual true place in the universe, maybe even where we came from. Maybe even it reflects on our eternity. No, I guess you can see this is what we got in our guts, and he is in the guts somewhere of some kind of creature. That's the kind of stuff I'm just showing you. And they normally absorb, but you can see the little tips at the end, they're a little scruffy looking. This is where they absorb normally. And this is not from this dripping, I don't think. I believe this is a layer of tissue that was like around this area. Or it could be dripping, I don't know. They call this tufa. You see that? That's a better shot of it. This is the tufa. And inside these little things, these are little absorbers. That was like hanging inside of your guts and sucking stuff up through there to feed you. That's how it works in your body. That's the digestive system. You see it? And it looks to me like these are those little ripples that make the poop move along. And it's just, maybe something cut the guts out of this thing and it's just laying there. But let me show you one more time. You see this layering? Look carefully, take your time and look. You see how there's actually ripples in here. Now, I don't know whether it looks like everything went this way. And that's how your poop moves, or your digestion moves the things through it. Now, we see this exactly the same thing where he was. Right here. You see these? And all of these things are the little villi that pop up in there, the intestinal villi. And this would have been coming through here. Now, why it's open, laying out here like this, and it's not a cave? Normally, you'd see these in caves. Why? I don't know. Wow, we got 50-mile-an-hour winds going on out there. Hope I don't lose power. Now, this is the interstitial. Well, this is actually the membrane area. An interstitium, which allows your skin to move this way and that way and so forth. And these straps and these balls allow it to come back to where it's supposed to be. Let's look at it closely. You got skin or the outside of an organ, which is the fascia. Then below that you have a fluid-filled highway that is where the enzymes exist to kill off invaders. All right, that's where your immune system is, in that fluid-filled highway. And then you got All right, in the interest of moving this along here, I'm just going to go sort of quick. This is a layer of skin or the fascia on an organ. Underneath is all this stuff. And if it eroded away, the black balls are tough. And they would end up just like they did here in the United Kingdom, where off Huntington Beach, and they eroded away. And these are the balls that were here, and it's laying in the mud. Out west, in the Moki Marbles, everything was eaten off of those balls. Those balls are edible, basically, until you get to the center of them, and all you got is that little hard core. And all the other stuff washed away. But this is in the United States. This is over in United Kingdom. And these are those balls right there. Microscopic shot. Those are those balls. And the same balls you see here. And these have eroded away, and you have the basement layer of skin. Now, Yale just changed the name of geology, because there is no geology. They always thought it was just dirt and rocks. No, it's not. So what did they do? Here's what Yale did. Yale renamed Geology and Geophysics Department. And what do they show? They show a mud fossil mussel. And can I show that in my stuff? Absolutely I can. Because what they just showed right here is, hold on. This is what Yale's showing as geology now, is the basement layer of skin. Those are all those balls laid out there. It's exactly the same picture almost. You see this? Could be a twin picture. It's just that they went way up on the top of the hill. If they went down the bottom, all those balls are going to be right down at the bottom. Why didn't they show that? They show this like all layering. That's not layering of history. This is layering of tissue and biology, because this is a gigantic creature. So as far as I'm concerned, it's the total obstruction of reality. And I mean, here's Vermilion Cliffs. Look at this. What is that? Is that just accidental? Come on. They could test this stuff very easily. They're spending billions of our dollars on grants. Oh, we're going to look. They're not looking. They're just looking for funding. That's what they're looking for. It's here. It is here. It cannot be denied. It's undeniable. Here's those balls in the ocean, spread across the ocean floor, seemingly with no apparent pattern. They're the tendon entices. They're the little straps that we see everywhere. Just like these. Same stuff. And this is the runoff of the mud from the red flesh. But it's one time this all ran off. You know, we have a watery environment here. You get a lot of erosion. But the balls don't erode. They are tough. And they're starting to pop out in Alaska. And when they're out in Alaska, they're coming out of the snow, and they're still edible, and they're growing green balls. You see all these balls? Let me show you what's happening in Alaska now. It's going to happen all over the Arctic regions as these bodies thaw out. When they died, they froze. Now they're thawing out, and all these balls are biological, and they're being eaten just like they are at over here in England, right there. Same situation. You see this? That's the skin. The balls are eroding. When they come out, they're being eaten right now. That's not just the balls themselves or some stromatolites just miraculously popping up here. No, they're the balls falling out of the wall. You can see it.